So today I'm going to show you how to make your own pattern, and one of you had requested that I show this, and so I'm going to use an example of how I learned myself how to make a clutch purse. I hope you can see this alright. This is a clutch that I got at DI out here in Utah, just Desert Industries. It's a thrift store. So first, what you're going to do, just kind of take a look at the bag, whatever you're looking at, kind of see the different pieces, look at shapes. We can see that this shape, it's kind of a triangular, I don't know, it looks like a pentagon kind of shape, right? This flap and this body, I mean, it's pretty rectangular, and this is rectangular as well. They have a pocket inside, but we're just going to go very basic today. So kind of just look at the different shapes that are on it. So again, we see a pentagon, triangle shape up here. It looks like there's a seam in here, so it looks like they placed it inside and then sewed across here. So this is the one I made based off of this pattern, and again, I looked at it as, oh, my hair just fell out. Stay. And so I took this and I saw, again, the rectangular shape here, and I put a pocket on the back, and this flat part, and I made my own design. This little swoop in there, but basically when I used what I did to figure this out, I figured out my dimensions first of how big I wanted it. Of course, I didn't make it the same size. I wanted something smaller, so I measured across here, and I saw it was like 11.5 inches, and I ended up making this 9.5. So you kind of just you just take a look at that and say, okay, I want it 9.5, and just figure out your ending measurements. Don't worry about seam allowance or anything yet. So I said, okay, 9.5. But I kind of also want it to flare out. See how it kind of goes out a bit there? So that is a trapezoid. Yeah, trapezoid went shorter on the top and longer at the base, and it angles out to the side. And so I made the top 9.5, but the bottom I estimated around 11.5. And you want to add a little bit more, even though like it won't be that drastic point, but because we're curving it a bit, the 2 inches is good enough. So I figured 9.5 at the top and then 11.5 at the bottom. And again, if you want it small, if you want an 8-inch purse, if you want 8 at the top, maybe 10 at the bottom, or if you want it straight. I mean, that's what you need to figure out. Is okay, kind of do a final sketch of the shape that you want. Look online for different shapes that you would want, if you would want it straight, or if you'd want it out, or if you want it puffed even more. I mean, that's all up to you of how you want it to look in the end. And so I wanted a slight angle, and I wanted this curve, so I will do that pinch, and I'll show you how to do that. I think I've actually showed you how to do it on in a previous video. Okay, and we're going to do really simple. I won't include the pocket, and we won't do all this elaborate stuff, because that could take a long time. And even this, like, that's pretty elaborate too, and figuring out the measurements and how to do that. So now that we've figured out sticking with the base, the body of this, let's sketch it out really quick. And I just have my notebook. You might want bigger if you want to do actual size or not. But get to a blank page. So we said we wanted 9.5 at the top, and it's going to angle out to 11.5. So we're just going to draw that. Okay, that is a trapezoid. And now we're going to say 9.5 inches up there, 11.5 inches down there. Okay? oh yeah, hopefully it's not backwards. I don't think it is, because it's not, I'm not filming from my Mac. And then we need to figure out how tall we want it. I think I made this one 6 inches. The original one was 7, so 6. I like mine 6. I mean, that's a pretty good size to me. So we're gonna write that in, and see how I did this. The dotted line, that's the height of the bag. Okay, so you have that. So it's 9.5, 6, 11.5. That's all you need there. And now the top of it, now the flap. Oh, and put next to it 2. I always put that. I'm gonna have 2 of those for the front and the back. And then if you think about it, you also need the lining. So that is gonna be, you're gonna need 4 of it. So 4 of the other color. And also you will need the same, well, I'll show you, you can put batting inside as well. So essentially you'll cut 6 pieces like that. 2 for outside, 2 for inside, 2 for the batting. And so let's do a simple, looks like an envelope, comes to a V. Something looks like that, okay? And remember, it has to insert, I didn't draw a proportion, but it has to insert the top, has to have the same width at the top, so you can say 9.5. And this is the tricky part, because you also want it, because you're going to have it at an angle, you want it, you don't want it straight. You actually want it, I guess, coming out a bit. Do you see how I drew that a little bit angled? When you draw out on your fabric, you will draw the same dimensions of 9.5 by 11.5, and then just so you can get that angle, it went down about 3 inches, okay, and then this other part went down about 4.5. So you're just using all your geometry skills right now. You can do 3.5 there, and then see how I did 3.5 on the side, and then again I did a dotted line to represent that length right there, because what you're going to do when you have this traced on your fabric, you're going to do the actual cutting lines. You're going to measure down 3.5 and make a mark, okay, whatever it is. Then you're going to find the middle. The middle of 9.5 is what? 4.5, 4 and 7, 4 3/4. So you're going to measure, go to the middle, 4 3/4. Then you measure down 4.5, make that mark, get a straight edge, and you're going to make that line. Now what you're going to figure out, you need, I do 1/2 inch on each side. Is that what I do? Actually, I probably do about 1/4 inch. I only do 1/4 inch seam allowance, especially with these. You don't want bulky seams on them. So what you're going to do is you're going to figure out 1/4 inch everywhere that you have seams, stitching. At the top though, I like to have extra, so that, because what you're doing, you're inserting this piece in here, and you want to have, and you're tucking that in. I think I showed you how to do it on my messenger bag, how you have a lot at the top, so you don't have to worry about getting that 1/4 inch tucked in. So I usually give about 3/4 of an inch, sometimes an inch, just so I can make sure I get that top piece folded in, and when I'm trying to figure out how to put this flat part into the base. So I always, let's say 3/4 of an inch. So I wish I could have the camera go zoom down on what I'm doing here, but it didn't. Alright, and there you have it. So now you have all the steps that I go through in figuring out the measurements for making my own patterns. And so that last slide that I put has all those steps, so you can review those, go back in the video, and if you have any questions, please email me. And if you have the measurements that you come up with for your own bag, I can review those if you want, so you can just send me an email of those as well. And then my next video to look forward to, I am going to put that bag together. I'll show you how to sew it, and I know I mentioned it, but I don't know that I showed you how to do that pinch on the bag. I might have done that in the messenger bag, but I'll do it again, so to show you how guys to do that. So look forward to that, and again, thanks for watching. Bye!